Okay guys, so as you would have seen in a previous video before, I was trying to do the chips, and I said I'd re-investigate another way and see can I get them. So what I'm going to try, I've got my stove again up and nicely burning, and I have the chips in the container in here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them in again this time. Oh, that's nice heat there guys, so I'm going to move my camera back a bit because it's getting hot. I'm just going to sit this container in like that. I'll try and make it level so they don't tip. I'm just going to leave them in that for a while, and we'll come back in a while and see how they're getting on. Are we getting them white? So I've no cover on it, they're just directly in the flame, and I'm hoping that this time they'll get nicely coloured white. And if they do, the benefit then is because we kind of halved both of them, so when we grind these ones down, and we've already grinded down the other ones, but I ended up in a very black powder, which, let me see if I have it here somewhere nearby. I do. So it ended up in a black powder like that, which hasn't been graded yet, or any of the magnetic stuff hasn't been taken up. But what it'll do is we can do a comparison, so we can see if we can get them white, and then eventually get them grinded, get the same weight, put both them into the same amount of aquavita, and see which will give us a better gold recovery from them, and which one works out the easiest to work with. So that's hopefully will give us a little bit of a comparison. So as you see there now, we have that in there. So the flames are going over it, it's burning off any of the gases that are coming off straight away from them, and hopefully we'll get, it doesn't burn the container out like it did on the other one, and this time hopefully we'll get them nice and white. So come back in a while and we'll see how we're getting on. Right guys, so I've left that in the fire with an open top on it, and you can see we have a lot more white and very brittle. So they can see there, they're just the way that will fall to little bits. So I'm hoping that this time when I grind these ones up, they will be a lot better than the last ones, which we ended up with a lot of very black carbon, but there is still some black carbon in here. But I'm hoping that we'll have enough. Again, as I said, this is just experimenting, so it may work, it may not work, but you can see it's very crumbly into powder. So even if I take a bunch of it there and crush it, it goes all into powder. So you can hear the sound of it crunching away there, and we're getting a very fine powder. So we might as well put it in here. Let me bring this forward, lock that into place, pour these in. You can see it's gone into powder, a lot of it, from just being in the heat itself. So you can even see down here we have a lot of powder. So hopefully this time, and well, even if it doesn't work out, we can compare it with the other one we done originally. So I'm just going to lock this into place. Locked into place, locked into place. Everything seems to be in there. So again, will be noisy, so I'll turn down the sound and play some music over it, and hopefully we'll turn it like that. Hopefully we'll see what we get at the end of it. So let's get to work. Okay guys, so welcome back after that. A bit of getting this down to a finer powder, still not as fine as I'd like it to be, but I'd probably put it through maybe a coffee grinder or something now after I deal with a lot of metals and stuff that I'll be doing next. But this is just to give you a comparison. So you can see there's still a lot of dust in there. But the powder is spilling some of it. I could contain, so you can see from the first lot was very black and this is whiter, so that is a lot better. So by using this tray instead of the closed top ones, I have got the powder less carbon in it. It's more white than a black. So that could be the way to go instead of thing. But again, the only way to do it is to weigh out eventually, get the same amount of each, run a batch and see which gives me the better return from it. And that way then we will know. So next stage I'm going to have to start to do is remove the metals, maybe grind it down a bit further. This one is just kind of an update video, and I'll do that in a separate video because I want to get a little coffee grinder because I don't have one. So I'm going to get a cheap coffee grinder to maybe grind these down even further, and we can filter them out and get rid of the metal foilings, and we can see then while we go on to the nitric and how we treat it and look for any silver or whatever, and just we'll see which turns out the better. But this was just more or less to check out the other way of doing them through. So I used an open top one in the fire again, and in the stove heat, and it seemed to do a lot better than the original cans which were closed tops. This one, you can see the color in the powder is totally different compared to the original lot that we done. So a lot happier that way. Again, eventually this, by grinding these up in this processor, it'll eventually wreck my processor, but it's just the way it goes, I'm afraid. The fine dust gets down into it and will eventually wreck it. But for now, we'll do this, and we'll try and get rid of all the metal first. So as you can see, if I actually show you, there is a lot of metal in these that will be things. So we'll get a magnet, if I can find my magnet. Here's a magnet, put that there, turn that just upside down, turn it back, open the lid, and you can see all the metal foilings that are there. So that's all stuck on the magnet. So again, there is some dust on it, so but you can see exactly the amount of metal that does be contained in them chips. So that's why you need to grind it down as much as you can and get rid of as much of the metal before you go on to using your acids, because that metal will just eat up your acid and you'll be wasting it on that instead of getting it to purify your golds or purify the what's in there to get it down to your gold. So guys, as always, thanks for watching. This was a bit quicker than a normal video, I've been thinking, but it's just to show you the difference between the last time I'd done them in the fire with the other containers and just using an open top container. So the heat was more able to deal with it and get these there's less carbon in there, because you can see by the color it's not as black. As always, thanks for watching, and catch you on the next one.